Alright guys, welcome to Red's Resort. In this show we take a look at what's been happening around the verse, whether that be on social media, Reddit, YouTube, etc. And then we take a wee look at what's coming from official sources as well, just to give you a weekly Star Citizen summary. As usual, let's jump over to Reddit first to see what those reprobates have been up to this week. First up we have this absolute beauty. Now this comes before my time in the verse, so I was very surprised by this, let's say. This is obviously an earlier version of the Cutty Red. I don't know why, I just find this really funny for some reason. It's like a diet Cutty or something, and you know, wow. I'm so glad things changed here. I mean, like, is that a thruster in the middle instead of a side door? What the actual hell happened here? And it looks like this is from inside the old personal hangars as well. And there are pics of the inside of the ship. I'm pretty sure this used to have tier 3 respawn beds in the middle there. I'm sure I've heard about that. There's also a pic of an M50 when it had size 3 hardpoints, which is just crazy. There was also this old pic of the 315P, and look at this skinny ass thing. I mean, seeing these, honestly, I'm pretty glad how things are now, not gonna lie. These were uploaded by Dr. Zhao. Thank you for this, dude. This was such a cool look back into time gone by. Fascinating really to see the evolution of the game. There was also this really cool post about the Kraken by Skittlebomber13. Here we have a set of hypothetical loadouts for varying tasks in the verse made in Fleet View, and this was seriously amazing to consider. First off we have the Capital Killer with a bunch of Eclipses, some Ares and a Perseus. And I mean, that is just nuts. If I'm ever flying around the verse and this thing jumps out of quantum, I'ma straight up just hang up my flight sticks and go and lie in a dark room for the rest of the month. That is honestly just too ridiculous to even contemplate. Then we had the Mine and Refine, the Heavy Fighter Squadron, the Piracy Loadout, the Cargo Running, Salvage, Disaster Response. You get the idea. All really well thought out. There were a few funny ones in there, like the Cursed Kraken covered in rock DSs, and the Notice Me CIG with all the ships badly needing some attention on it. This was a great post, dude, and definitely kindled some hype in myself, and others no doubt, for what might lie ahead with these capital ships. Next we had this really sick map of the intended universe of Star Citizen. This radial transit style map shows all the jump points between the stars and the systems, and it focused around a central point of Terra. Now, it's not geographically accurate, but it represents how a transit map might look if you were from Terra, say. It's all colour coded as well to show off the dominant species in each system, and has developing and unclaimed systems as well. This person, Jail, also has a YouTube channel covering lots of cool stuff, but with a particular focus on alien languages and lore, with lots of translation stuff and cool little secrets that would be well worth your time checking out. Thanks Jail for allowing me to show your cool map on here, dude. You're an absolute scholar and a gentleman. As usual, all links will be below. On that note, let's head over to YouTube to see what the word on the street is. First up we had Forrester with a dry dock deep dive episode on the Arastra concept ship. Now you probably already know Forrester for his excellent ship reviews, and I might be slightly biased here, but this is where I get all my concept ship hype from. And since the Arastra ship is the one I'm most excited about, I just couldn't help but get a little carried away in the anticipation. A great roundup of all the points and concept arts and rendering shots you could hope to grace your eyes with. Next up was Space Coder, with a discussion about service beacons. Now, as the mission system has progressed and became more and more modular, it has become apparent that there may be more license in the verse for some other user-created missions over and above the general rescue and transport beacons we currently have. Space Coder takes this idea and fleshes it out, and considers the practicality of implementing such a system and how it can be balanced with reputation. He then goes on to suggest a few systems that would be good to have available, refueling beacons or repairing beacons, to name just a few. It was a very interesting perspective, and as soon as you hear it you will immediately start thinking of beacons that you yourself would like to be added to the game. assassination requests or cargo deliveries, single item deliveries like armors or guns, etc. An absolutely excellent topic that really warrants a lot more discussion. Anyway, the video is criminally under the radar right now, so defo check it out. Also, if you ever do link to anyone's channel through this show, remember and tell them who sent you. The crazy Scottish guy who thought it was a good idea to shamelessly make videos about everyone else's content. Anyway, next up we had some trading tips from Enix SC. He has a nice little trading route for you cargo runners out there, where he's pulling in around 1.2 million in a carrack per run. Now, please bear in mind, he did have to wait for the server to tick, and that will probably only get worse when all you guys jump on it. So it's definitely a good route, but might not be as efficient as it can be depending on how busy the route is. However, that wasn't the only good advice. He also shows you a very cool way to entirely skip the train journey once you reach Lorville City. So either way, you're coming out a winner with this one. A big thanks to Enix for sacrificing your route for the benefit of the many. The only thing better than a good cargo run is a cargo run with the added excitement of maybe getting sniped and losing 5 million credits. I wouldn't have it any other way. 07 dude. Next up we have the coolest cat in the verse, and the sexiest voice in all of Stanton. Dig That 32, who has been a big personal inspiration for me getting into content creation. He has made a video called 3.23 might make your ships obsolete temporarily. And it's about the impact of the new cargo changes. The introduction of the cargo elevators, as you know, is set to really shake things up with how we move around cargo in the game. Dig That goes over some of the individual ships and checks out if they are going to be ready for this transition, and there's some surprising and some disappointing results. Personally, I'm a bit worried about the whole moving all the cargo yourself thing. I know the idea is to have certain areas supported by NPCs or some kind of automation eventually, and I do see the benefit to maintaining realism and stuff, but you know, I also think that I'm missing the part where they dial it back to the fun, but that's just my opinion. I can see a lot of people being really into this, especially if the profits per time spent gets a really good boost as well with the incoming economy changes. But defo check this vid out as well, as there are a lot of ships affected, and if you're in the cargo game you don't want to get caught short. 07 Dig That, thanks for everything bro. Last up we have Foxy Loxy, who was in the EPTU testing out a new dynamic event. Now we've heard about this coming for a while now, but as far as I'm aware I don't think it's been in action yet. I could be wrong about that though. And it does seem like only a single phase of the overall mission was up for testing, but all 3 phases were active to play through. Anyway, Foxy's got a video up of him and some guys trying things out. It looks like the mission can spawn in different locations and involves you accessing a mainframe in a bunker and defending that against waves of enemies until it's finished. As you can imagine, things don't really go to plan, and well, Star Citizen gonna Star Citizen, but it does look like it will be a nice addition to the game and will definitely spice up some of that somewhat lacking bunker gameplay. I get the feeling that if I'm right, you should be able to take a counter mission. So the one Foxy was doing was the lawful one, and the unlawful mission would involve you storming the bunker to stop the upload by destroying the server stacks. I honestly can't find or remember where I got that information though. That is literally just what my brain told me to say. So, you know, that could be utter bollocks to be honest. Either way, Foxy's got a great channel over there full of a variety of cool stuff, and this is defo worth looking at if you fancy an early look at what's coming up. Thanks Foxy for letting us show some of this here dude, I appreciate it. In other Star Citizen news, CitizenCon is going to be in Manchester. So, as you've probably guessed, I live in Scotland, so I'm thinking maybe. If the time and the money line up, maybe. Definitely could be a very exciting year for Star Citizen fans, and this could be one not to be missed. So, maybe. I've never been before, and this is just a couple of hours away, so maybe. Coramor and the Red Festival is also on, so there's a free fly, a referral bonus, a screenshot competition, and some challenge coins to be won in Arena Commander. There's also some really nice paints flying around in the store, and some Warbond CCUs for the Prospector, the Super Hornet Heartseeker, 400i, the Mole, 600i Explorer and the Carrack. And the thumbnail for this video was taken by NB Citizen over on Twitter, who graciously allowed me to use this screenshot. You are too kind, thank you so much. There was also the monthly update com link, and in that we had some cool stuff that I'll just skim over really quick. The character concept art team has started working on legendary armours apparently, so I'm thinking they will be like reputation based, possibly mission rewards, we'll have to see, but that sounds cool as hell. The Zeus is still moving through Greybox. A previously unannounced ship has reached Lot 0, so it's very nearly ready, and the team was working through January on some paints for it. The Polaris is in Greybox, which means it's coming along great. Another unannounced ship was getting a lighting pass. 2 variants are also progressing well, and one passed Lot 0, so like the highest detail level, and the other just began that process. And finally, the most exciting news, the Retaliator started its gold standard pass. Yes, that is a big deal. Could be the beginning of modules coming in, hopefully. We'll have to wait and see. The transit system is getting a well needed refactor and will be compatible with server meshing and crash recovery. As well as that, the docking and landing systems are getting some well needed attention as well, and a rewrite to the auto docking feature is in the works. Arena Commander is getting some Gravlev tracks, and the team has been working on a big update to master modes, including in-atmosphere maps and AI enemies that are tailor-made with master modes in mind. Core Gameplay worked on a massive incoming cargo update which includes freight elevators, instanced hangars, personal hangar, persistence, commodity trading and kiosk updates, also hover trolleys and hauling mission support, and Whitebox has begun for building interiors. The ship matrix was updated to give you a Loner Crusader C1 for a Zeus ES concept, a Cutlass Blue for a Zeus MR, and a Siulan and a Taurus for a Raylan. Yogi Clat responded to a user who noted they've seen no mention of the updated quantum travelling and boosting system that should be accompanying the Master Mode's implementation in 3.23. He said they are still waiting on a few things, and for that reason they aren't on the 3.23 release schedule. Simple as that really. Apart from that, there was a really satisfying lore post about the UEE's ban on artificial intelligence and its associated research that I thought was really well put together, as usual. Link to that below if you missed it and are lore inclined in any way. Defo some cool history in there. And that's it. That's all for this week. A big thank you to my channel members, Nils Gerdes and Spacecraft. If you know anyone looking to get into Star Citizen, please use one of the codes on screen now for some extra credits and possibly a free vehicle, depending on when you watch this. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you again next week. 07 guys.